So one of the things that I talk about a lot because of 21st Century Superhuman is that we are really in a time of change on planet Earth. It's simple to look at it as humanity is waking up and we're being tired of just the 1% harvesting off the rest of us, and with too many taxes and systems where everything costs too much. And so we're in this waking up process, and we're learning to use greater resources. We're learning to use tools and information. And one of the really great aspects of that has been something called open sourcing, which means people are putting information out and just passing it out into the world for free. And Mr. Keshe has chosen that style. That way we get away from the inventor who's coming up with something really amazing, getting killed off in their garage and somebody taking the plans. Instead, the plans are being given to the whole world. And we have so many wonderful people like Mirza, like many, many others who we'll be talking to on this show, who are actually taking this information on how to build a free energy, plasma energy power unit and other things, and working on those. So today we're going to talk about, Mirza, what you've done, because you've done so many awesome things. Do you want to tell us a little bit first how you stumbled into Mr. Keshe, and then what you listened to and how that kind of started taking on a life in your life?
Well, I knew for Keshe for some times because I'm investigating ufology for years now, almost 5 years, and there was an Iranian case where the American drone was taken down, and as an explanation for that crash was taken Mr. Keshe. Yeah.
Very interesting. And Mr. Keshe is really working on space travel. That's so he always says, I've listened to many of his teachings, and he always says, well, we've got to clean up the desk first. You know, we've got to kind of clean up what we've got here that's out of balance. And some of this new technology offers the opportunity to literally clean up damaged waters and the earth and activate us to live in new ways. So it's very exciting. I love it that we have this internet where we can be talking from around the world. We can be recording a show from around the world, and we're able to get these teachings wherever we are. It's very exciting, especially if we have the internet. Any other thoughts on what it was like for you when you started first becoming aware and decided to jump on and listen to some of the teachings?
Well, I knew for all like people talking about the free energy, I'm familiar with Roswell case, so I know what happened there and how the technology from UFOs were hidden in mainstream. Like people can read about it in Philip J. Corso's book. And free energy was here for pretty long, but now we can harvest it.
Beautiful. Yeah. And so is sparkosoft.com, is that your website?
Oh no, it's just the program that I'm using to connect my camera. I'm using Canon,
Okay.
so instead of webcam.
Is there any place people could find you if they wanted to connect with you and ask you questions, or just be able to learn from what you've been doing?
Oh yeah, they can contact me through Facebook. My Facebook is Carlo, we are not alone.
Okay, and we will put that under the video, and so people can find you, because
yeah.
So it's really interesting that you're kind of connecting this through the UFO technology link, because I believe that many of us were seeded after World War II when the atom bomb was blown off, and the ETs basically said, hey, that's not a good use of energy. Let us bring you some good energy. But then Roswell happened, and they were basically shot out of the sky. And so here we are, really trying to take these steps ahead and advance ourselves. So would you like to just start out with the pictures, or would you like to tell us a little bit about the ideas you got when you listened to Mr. Keshe?
Well, as you people are not familiar with what Stephen Bassett has made, like I believe in 2013, the citizen hearing on disclosure. There were many military people who claimed about the UFO contact and ET presence and stuff.
Yeah, Stephen Greer, and yeah, even the minister of I think it was a Canadian minister of defense even said that.
Oh, Paul Hellyer, yeah.
Yeah, that UFOs had showed up and disarmed their weapons, etc.
Citizen hearing was big thing because they used people from who were ex from Congress in America, and that was a big story. But Boston bombing like happened maybe 2 weeks after that. Same as Disclosure Project from Greer, where 9/11 happened.
Yes. Oh, you're paying attention, my friend. And as I
Yeah.
say, actually, UCLA did studies that shows younger generations, such as yourself, are actually coming in with more awake DNA. And it's so apparent when I have a lot of young people come to my workshops, and it's really apparent. It's really exciting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pictures of what you developed here, and you can explain to us what they all are. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me go to screen sharing, and let me put this on view full screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us what this is.
Well, we have just cut some copper plates. We started the nano coating process. I think this is after the first bath or the second one, or the steaming. I'm always using some pieces of kitchen aluminum foil when I'm putting plates to steam, to get nano. I think it's helping it.
Oh, really? Interesting. And
Yeah.
that's what's exciting about, people doing this, all different people doing it, because we're experimenting and adding things to it. So basically in the plastic container, you have kind of a wire mesh on the bottom to keep your copper from touching the bottom, right? And then it looks like you put aluminum foil under it. And then you put caustic in this, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm using just a little bit of caustic because I'm pouring steamed water inside of it. I'm doing it for 6 days, like for 24 hours.
Okay, and so you pour steaming water in and then put the lid on it?
Yes.
And to keep the steam in. And then what this does, and you correct me if I'm wrong, it expands the atomic structure so that it can better receive the plasma energy. Is that right?
Yes, it's just making copper to be superconductive, to make some nanolayers, and Keshe said we need to make like 70,000 nanolayers for later so we can make GANS.
Interesting. And those are really nice pieces of copper. Now, you did mention in your country, even getting certain resources is difficult, and you had people send you some things from other countries. Where did you get those nice pieces of copper?
Oh yeah, there are some people who are selling copper, like they're using the scrap metals,
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to them and bought some.
Nice. I've been searching for pieces of copper like that myself, so very good. Scrap metal, that's a great idea. So anything else you'd like to say about this?
Well, this is what I think first day of steaming because there's aluminum. I'll just repeat this process for 6 more days, and after that we need to take the voltage out. So we need to use positive and negative voltmeter. It will help to build even more nanolayers.
Right. And please notice you're wearing gloves, which is very important. And the caustic is really what is also known of as lye. In the United States, we can buy it at like the hardware store, 100% lye. And then we sprinkle some in the bottom and then pour a small amount of hot steaming water over it, and so that it creates steam, right?
This is just one of processes how you can make the nano. There is also a way with butane or propane gas. You can.
Right.
It's kind of faster, but Keshe said it's good for the car units, not for the healing and for a unit for energy.
Right.
There's also the new way that I've seen like 2 days ago. People are using sulfurs,
Nice.
and you can actually make nano in like 10 seconds.
Wow.
This way, it's taking like 6 days to make.
Wow. Cool. And we're all learning from each other, which is great.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in this project.
So the famous copper coils that we have now seen many pictures of, but go ahead and tell us about these.
Yeah, my girl is making copper coils thanks to
Nice.
her because she can use her hands better than I do.
Is she making them by hand as opposed
Yeah,
to, oh, good for her.
we
Very
are making all the units by hand because if we are gonna buy the drill, it costs the same money as would cost 3 kilos of caustic, so it's kind of waste, you know?
brilliant.
Yeah. This is the typical 14481 coil, the gravitational and magnetical. This is before the steaming and before the nano layering.
So are you saying 44 and 81 wraps?
144 on the magnetical and 81 on the gravitational.
144 and
Yeah.
81 wraps. Nice. And it's so nice. Those are beautiful. And so she must find like some kind of a core to wrap them around.
We're using some pieces of wood from the kitchen, but she likes details and she wants everything to look perfect.
Nice. Good for her. Are we going to get to meet her?
I can invite her next time we speak, so you can
Good.
speak to her as well.
That would be fun. I love
Yeah.
it. And I think it's important. I think there's a lot of women working on this around the world as well. So it's really fun because there's a really big bunch of scientific men who have jumped in, which are wonderful, but it's nice to know that women are working on it as well. So beautiful. And is this 14 gauge copper wire?
That is, as I've bought it like the wire for the electricity. I need to take the layers out, you know, the
Right.
plastic layer. This is said like 16 copper in
Okay.
Bosnia. I don't know how to measure that in US
Right.
or other countries.
That's okay. Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit maybe thinner than 14. Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful GANs. Oh my gosh. So do you want to tell us about, do we need to go to a different picture to start this or?
Well, this is just simple 3 GANs that we are using for the Magrav. Zinc, iron, and copper.
Right. Zinc, iron, and copper. And so the iron is the red one.
Yeah, the iron is the red one. It's easy to make. You can make a lot of it. The only thing, the copper one is harder to make, and you really need to be patient while making it.
So so to make the red one, you use a nano-coated copper plate. We'll get to the process in a minute, but you use the
Sure.
nano-coated copper plate did you use nails?
We have used some kind of bar that's made from iron.
Uh-huh.
It's just put in container and we connect it with nano-coated wire. That's all.
Nice.
We used to use electricity, but I don't believe in that process anymore. I have spoke with JC. He said that using electricity will just complicate stuff.
Oh,
I
good.
believe so. Yeah.
Good. And JC is my good buddy. We do shows on this together, so he's really knowledgeable. And then the copper is made with 2 copper plates, correct? One nano-coated and one not?
Yeah, they're all same, made with one nano-coated plate and one of each metals. So iron, zinc, and copper.
Nice. And then the white one, or gray, white?
The white one is the zinc. My mother found it somewhere before the Don sent his from
Nice.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Yeah.
And so, in your terminology, how would you explain GANs to us?
In my terminology, what is GANS? I think it's just like taking soul out of metal, you know, something like that.
Taking soul out of metal. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's called, and GANS means gas in the nano state.
Yeah, it's gas in a nano state. We can make it just first they make nano and then release it. That's how you get the GANs.
Nice. And I love that. How sweet. Taking out the soul of the metal. Beautiful. So a workbench here. Tell us about what we have going on.
Here we see the coils that we made, all three, like magnetical and gravitational coil, all three setups. Yeah, and behind it you can see we are making some copper GANs.
So you're actually getting ready to make the power unit, correct?
Yeah, this time we used the small battery, which was 1.5 volts and 0.05 amps. But later we tried to make GANs and we made it without voltage, so it's even easier.
Nice. I love those big pieces of copper. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. So what do we have here?
This is a strange picture. As you can see, the left one is the iron GANs and the right one is copper GANs.
Mm-hmm.
There is some weird circle. God knows how to explain that. It just happened there.
Interesting.
It is really something. I think Keshe spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's how the field is moving inside of container, but who knows? Later it's just become even stronger and you can clearly see it. And after that the whole container was of the same color as iron. So
Nice. And so are you using seawater, or are you mixing salt that you buy at the store with water? How are you making your salt water?
we are using distilled water with sea salt that we buy in store.
Nice. And what percentage do you mix?
We put 1 kilo of salt into 4 liters of distilled.
Nice. 1 kilo of salt into 4 liters of distilled. Wow, that's a pretty dense salt mixture.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you have anything attached to these besides just the copper wire? You don't really have a battery or light bulb or anything, do you?
You can see those white and red wires.
Mm-hmm.
I think that negative went to nano coated and positive went to iron. In this other case, the copper, bare copper. It helped to push the GANs out, but you can do it without voltage. It's even simpler.
And then what do those go to?
Which one?
Well, what is the other end of those? Are they just connected to each
Oh,
other?
they're connected. We made some kind of setup in which we put battery and charger to plug in, and we connected some wires to battery. And it worked, you know.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And so you took one wire from that setup and put it with the copper and one with the iron.
Yeah, I have one tip for people which are going to make GANs. Always save your water, and next time you're gonna make GANs, it's gonna boost your process so fast, and it's gonna start making GANs instantly as you pour water in.
Interesting. So you
Yeah,
save and use the same water over and over.
I'm keeping all the water in bottles.
Nice. So beautiful.
Yeah, this was the nano-coated coil in GANS soap. It's called GANS coating.
GANS soup. So you put all three GANSes together. Is that correct?
Yeah. We had like it is good to do the same quantities, but we had the iron more than other ones, but it's the same. Keshe said the GANS is invisible, so you can't measure it anyways. It just failed.
Nice. Very nice. And so mixing together the three GANSes, and are they kind of just equal parts, or does it seem to not matter that much?
Yeah, I don't know about it, but we used as what we had, and also we have added some crushed quartz crystal inside of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I know people are working with herbs and quartz crystals in the healing pens as well.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Look at the three. These are the three parts of the power unit, right?
Yeah, those are the nano-coated coils.
Nice. How long did it take them to dry?
I think it took maybe 4 days. As you can see, the upper part is dry and there is some moisture on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So basically, as far as the way those coils are set up, the outer coils also have another coil inside them. Is that correct?
Yes, the inside one is called gravitational, and the bigger one is called magnetical.
And um, and so we're saying, so are there 3 coils there actually?
In There are 2 coils inside of each one. Like
So each one
magnetical
has a
has 2.
coil inside. Even the small one has a coil inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's literally, as we look at each of these circles, we're looking at 4 coils, right? Because
Yes.
each one has another one inside of it.
Actually, we used more than 90 meters of copper wire in this just to
Wow,
make this.
that's a good figure to know.
Yeah, that's the big power it's gonna make.
And so again, the smaller coils are 81 turns and the bigger coils are 144 turns, right?
Yes, the bigger ones are 144. They're connected, and everything is made counterclockwise. That's important for people to know.
And they need to be made the same direction.
And it's there's some confusion about it.
Right.
Some say it's about field, some say it's about copper, but you do as Keshe said always, and it's counterclockwise wire.
Yes. Maybe we'll get your girlfriend to explain that to us next time.
Oh, sure.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful GANS. It looks like you could just about eat it, but we don't eat it, right?
Yeah, don't eat the GANS.
Don't eat the GANS.
I've heard some stories people ate GANS, had some problems later.
Yeah. It's definitely not suggested to consume it internally. So,
This was the process of drying the soup and making the paste. I just take this container close to heater for some days, and probably took 3 or 4 days to make the paste.
So this is the soup of the 3 GANs that are mixed together, and
Yeah.
then by letting it dry over several days, it's going to make a paste as opposed to just a soupiness. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Those are the nano-coated capacitors. Capacitors are used to establish link between non-resistive power and elements that we are using the heaters, because plasma is non-resistive DC.
Nice. Oh, your explanation is great. And so it looks like, are there about 18 coils?
Yeah, we haven't calculated this, just made them.
Yeah, nice. 18 or 20 it looks like. And they're just a single coil, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Those are the processes of GANS making the zinc, iron, copper, and some brass GANS.
Beautiful. Lovely. And really, you know, I went to the thrift store and found some plastic containers. I mean, it isn't that complicated to do this. It can really be done very simply.
Well, when you are making this thing, you can feel the natural feeling about making it. Everything's really natural, except the caustic. Caustic is really, I don't like to work with it, but we have to.
Right. I know it's an interesting process. So basically, each of these has a nano-coated copper plate. Each container has one copper plate that has been nano-coated through the caustic process you showed us at the beginning. And then it has a copper wire that stays out of the water. And,
Yeah.
And they're kind of, you have little holes drilled in the edge of your plastic container. And you have your copper wire wired through the edge of the container, right?
Yeah, all the design that you can see is done by my girlfriend. She's doing all the design stuff.
Nice. She's doing a beautiful job. So basically, each container has a nano-coated copper plate or piece of copper, and then the wire goes from that over to the other metal that is in it. And in some it is iron, in some it is zinc, and in some it is copper. And those are not nano-coated. Right?
Yes, we also tried to make silver GANs, but something weird happened. and the nano-coated wire just break off.
Mm.
It's really weird.
It's really hard to find pure silver too, so.
Yeah, that could be a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have tried to make lead, but something weird happened to both of us, and I won't suggest people to make lead GANs.
Interesting. And it's really nice to have GANs in your house. It's almost got an energy field to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we are also making the pads, and people are saying that it does work, you know.
Nice.
There is some kind of calming motion you get from GANs. I don't know. It's personal. Everybody should experience for itself.
I agree. I
Yeah.
very much agree. I like having my GANs with me. I miss it when I'm away from it. Nice. So the beginning of your power unit.
Yeah, those coils were done. They were nano-coated, GANS-coated, dried, everything. We have started to make capacitors. On the bottom you can see them. So that was the beginning of the Magrav unit.
Very cool. And what is on those capacitors?
We have used some plastic.
Mm-hmm.
This way of connecting capacitors, you save the space, because the old style takes a lot of space.
Okay. And how did you get this nice little shelving thing? Did you build that?
Oh, my relative is working with a wood, so I asked him to make one, and he did.
Nice. Very good. Whoops. Are we at the end? I guess that's the end. So have you, you've kind of just made everything, but have you not hooked it up yet?
Yeah, I have hooked it up. I can send you the picture where my friend is holding the light bulb and it's working.
Okay. You want to send it?
I will send picture through Skype so you can take it.
Okay. Cool. This is awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this. Really nice.
Oh, no problem.
To get to see all of this in action, and you guys have done a really nice job of putting it together. So any other thoughts that so really, I think we'll need to do a follow-up with you maybe in 4 or 6 weeks or something, and see how your unit is behaving.
Sure. As soon as we find all the elements for conditioning, we are going to start the process.
Because really, and why don't you talk about the conditioning a little bit? Because I think that's the hardest thing for people to get. I mean, I have people who are used to traditional power, and they just think that this doesn't work and it can't work because it's such a different way of bringing energy into the system. And so you're going to be hooking things up to the wiring in your house and allowing kind of a nano coating process to take place through the household. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the idea. Magrav is not producing power. It's all about nano coating the house. Those nano layers will produce power. So the trick is the nano wire, not the Magrav unit.
Yes. I'm really excited about doing one of these for my vehicle.
Oh, cool. It's even easier because you don't need capacitors. You can make it in like 3-4 weeks.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not seeing the, have you sent that over or?
It's uploading.
Okay, great. Anything else you'd like to say about how this process has been for you, or?
Oh, it was learning process. You can't just start making this and think you know everything. You don't know everything, man. This plasma thing is gonna work with your mind and everything. You need to learn while making it.
I mean, I listen to some of the training videos and then I think, oh, I've got to go back and listen to that one again because I missed some details, and then, or I go on to some of the Facebook sites that have, you know, where people are posting what they're doing and I learn from somebody else. So it really is a big learning process. You kind of have to keep absorbing as much information as you can and then applying it. And
yeah, I think the picture's uploaded now.
yep, I got it. I'm downloading it.
I have watched Keshe's teaching, came all to 10. I already wrote like 70 pages of what he's talking about in my book. It's not
Wow.
book, I'm just writing the notes and edit pictures and everything, but this is big. To see all, now we are on 97th, I think, teaching. And if you want to watch all of them, you need to be like really, really patient and stuff.
You do have to be patient. It's a lot to absorb. And I know I've spoken with a lot of people who don't want to, go through that process. And it's one of the reasons we're doing these videos, is just to make it, oops, let me see.
Well, it's one thing to just buy the unit and connect in your house, but if you want to learn something about plasma technology, which is the future, then you will spend some time on this.
It's like learning an entirely new science.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what that picture is called in my download file here. Oh, it's still downloading. I probably could just let you screen share, but yeah, I mean, we're learning about a completely new way for power to be fed into the system. And what's wonderful is that we're getting, this is kind of a bridging. We're getting to actually use the old stuff we have and bridge into it with this new technology. So it's very cool compared to just
Yeah.
having
This
to
is
tear down the old and start all over. It's really nice. Go ahead. Sorry.
this is about to make not Magrav work with house. This is how to make house work with Magrav and everything else, cars, ships, and everything.
Beautiful.
So the Magrav is just new kid in the block, so to say.
That is very cool. Oh, there you go. Here, let's see if we can. Let me switch over to screen sharing again. Nice. So tell us what's going on here.
Well, after we connected everything, capacitors, unit to plugs, electricity, everything is connected, checked. We tried with this light and it worked.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at you go. That is very cool. So, and that's not plugged into the wall or anything, right?
Oh, it's plugged in electricity. You can see this bottom white cable.
Right.
It's going to the electricity, but that's the point. This unit is not making power, it's just pushing the Nano go into the house.
So tell us a little bit about that. Can you explain that to us a little bit?
Well, people think that if you buy Magrav you have free power. Yes, you do after some time. The first thing you need to do is conditioning, which takes 21 days. And there is schematics on the page where you can see what to connect, how long it takes and everything. The point is to push nano layer into your house to complete whole circle, That's the way the energy is made.
So tell us how this light bulb is lighting up. And yes, we will also put the link to the blueprint so people can download their own blueprint to make their own unit.
You can see the bottom white cable, it's input. The positive is connected all the way through Magrav. There is schematics on how to connect it and stuff.
So that white cable is plugged, it's like plugged into a socket in your wall, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, we are using 220 here in Bosnia, and that's what powered the
But then
light.
you have the wires at the end of it taken apart, and those.
Oh, yeah, those wires are taken apart and connected with schematics to capacitors and to magnetical coil. People who are gonna make this, they will learn for themselves. It's really hard to explain now how it's connected and stuff.
Right, and
how
then
it's working.
But so then another wire comes out of the Magrav unit, and that's what you have the light bulb plugged into, right?
Yeah, that's called the load. In those 21 days, as I've said, you need to connect 25 watts of the inductive for 5 days, and so on, so on, so on. After 21 day, you can connect the heaters, which are like 2 kilowatts. You don't go over 2 kilowatts because those household units are patented to 2 kilowatts, and it's not smart to go above it. That's only for the resistive. For non-resistive, you can connect as much as you want.
That is beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us and to show us what you've done. I think it's awesome. And maybe next time we can have your girlfriend on and meet her and have her tell us about her experience of doing the windings for the unit. And you can kind of give us an update of how things go with your conditioning.
Sure. I'm gonna start conditioning in her house probably next 5 days, as soon as I find all the elements for conditioning.
Nice. Awesome. And what are some of those elements?
Well, for the first 11 days, you need to use non-resistive, like inductive. Those are the fans, everything that has motors and doesn't heat. After that, you first use the, you just plug in the Magrav in the power and keep it for 4 days. After that, you're using 25 watts non-resistive for 4 days.